The clock strikes 12, I step into the haze. Whispers call me from 1,000 graves. Shadows dance in corners out of sight. I chase the unknown deep into the night. I hunt the fear you dare not face. In the darkness I embrace the trace. The dead, they speak their secrets shown. Welcome to the bizarre and the unknown. The flicker, a chill, a shadowed hand. The unseen lingers where I stand. Through creaking doors and empty halls, I hear the echoes of forgotten calls. I hunt the fear you dare not face. In the darkness I embrace the trace. The dead, they speak their secrets shown. Welcome to the bizarre and the unknown. And the unknown. Eyes that watch from a place unreal, a touch so cold it makes you feel they're near but hidden, veiled in shade. I walk with ghosts, I'm unafraid. I hunt the fear you dare not face. In the darkness I embrace the trace. The dead, they speak their secrets shown. Welcome to the bizarre and the unknown.
Oh, crap. Hey, welcome to another episode of the Bizarre and the Unknown. I'm your host, E.D. Testerman. How's everybody doing today? I didn't have my headphones on, so I didn't hear the music. Hey, Bounty. Man, we got a good topic today. I know William and Jessica and I have covered this on their shows, and I kind of want to dive a little bit more into this. And so we're looking at the strange and bizarre things that happen on military bases. Now, I personally have experienced some of this stuff. And of course, I do shows, released a video this morning, new videos I've been putting out called Military versus Creatures. And I started doing them videos for that reason, because there is a lot of high strangeness that happens on military bases. So I thought it'd be fun to kind of do a show on that. If you guys have got experiences, let me know in the chat. If you got questions about things that I've seen or I've heard about on military bases, put it in the chat. We'll address it. And that's kind of what today's show is going to be about. I've been stationed at, when I was in the Marines, I was at San Diego and Camp Pendleton for boot camp and SOI and weapons school. Then I was stationed in Kaneohe Bay, Hawaii. I was with 2nd Battalion, 3rd Marines Gulf Company Weapons Platoon out of Kaneohe Bay, Hawaii. From there, we've been to Okinawa, mainland Japan, Kyushu, Japan. We've been all over. I mean, gosh, Guam, Germany, Scotland, Ireland. List goes on, and they ain't counting Kuwait and Afghanistan and Qatar. In the Army, I was at Fort Benning, Georgia, I was here out of Springfield, a reserve unit before I went back active duty, which I went to Fort Benning, Georgia. And then when we got back from our deployment, okay. I thought I missed something there for a second, Kevin. I was reading your deal. And then when my unit got disbanded, I went to Fort Riley, Kansas. So, I mean, I've literally been all over this world. Australia. I've been all over, man. I've experienced some very high strangeness. For a guy like me who loves this type of stuff, I'm down. I mean, I get to go on these foreign countries, and I mean, I'm like,
I'm your huckleberry.
That's me, man. Let's get into it. You know, let's look at this type of stuff. And I've shared some of my stories on other podcasts and on here stuff I experienced. And yeah, I would like to go. I need to go up to that Ohio one sometime. I need to go up to that Ohio conference sometime. So let's start out here. So, you know, one of my first encounters with high strangeness while in the military was at San Diego, California. Me and a buddy of mine, we ended up getting stationed in K-Bay together. We were on night guard and fire watch. We called it fire watch. For those of you, hey, Robin, for those of you who don't know, it's night guard. So we were on fire watch. I was on the side of the squad bay that had the airport. He was on the side of the squad bay that looked over the other part. And next thing you know, my buddy goes, "Hey, T, come over here, man. There's some weird crap going on." So I went over there to take a look. Well, in the night sky, there was two white lights kind of dancing around each other doing this. And this is above the base there in San Diego. And they were just kind of bouncing around doing this weird little dance in the sky. Sometimes they stayed parallel from each other as they danced around. I mean, it was wicked cool. Then all of a sudden, the lights split up and became four lights and was doing a bunch of weird stuff. And then they took off and jetted off into the sky. They came, hey, bolt gun. They came together and poof, shot off. I mean, they were gone. So when it comes to the military, that was my first experience with something bizarre while in the military. And that was at boot camp on fire watch. Of course, we didn't report it because we didn't want our DIs, drill instructors, we call them DIs. We didn't want our DIs to think we were nuts or on something that they wanted to do to look through our stuff to see what the hell we was on. Okay. I thought I missed something there. Hey, Amy, how's it going? And then I remember, so if you guys looked at my first military versus creatures video I did, episode 1, that was out of Camp Pendleton. That was the Camp Pendleton Bigfoot. I found that interesting because where they were talking about that they encountered that Bigfoot in California, I was there. I was in that spot that they're talking about. I know exactly where they're talking about because that's where we dug our foxholes during foxhole training for SOI. SOI is School of Infantry. So I did boot camp out of Ego and Pendleton. And then I went to Pendleton. I done SOI, School of Infantry. Then I went to weapons school out of Pendleton where I became an 0331 machine gunner. We shot the 240 Golf, 50 cal and Mark 19 machine guns. So we had to do all that. I was a 240 gunner in the Marines. That's why my tattoo has 0331 on it, because that's what my primary MOS was 0331. MOS is it's your job title. Um, look, did I miss something? Uh, get your ass, Doug. Um, so I can tell you, my times of staying out overnight in the mountains there in California at Camp Pendleton, there is a lot of hey Ray, there is a lot of weird shit that happens at nighttime um, there in California in those mountains on Pendleton. There's a lot of weird stuff. Now, I'm talking about I've experienced paranormal stuff to possible cryptid related stuff. And I remember one night I was doing fire watch. We were asleep in the foxhole. Very similar situation to what that encounter was, but it wasn't the same. I never did see what it was. I heard a strange grunt like noise. Could have swore I heard something big walking around, but I never got to lay eyes on it. And we didn't have thermals, so I couldn't pull up my thermal to take a look at it. Our 240s did have thermals that we could put on for nighttime. Makes people look like white ghost. It was really cool. When I was in the fleet, fleet is what we call like our main duty assignment. It's our fleet. We get assigned to a fleet, and when we in our fleet, we had the thermals, but we didn't have the thermals during weapons school or SOI. This has happened to happen when I was in SOI. So, I didn't even have my machine gun. I just had an M16 at that time. I'll get you on that, Don. But I heard something heavy walking around. It was, man, it's going to be hard to do it, but it was kind of like is what I heard. It was something similar to that right there. And it drew my interest. The other Marine that was up for fire watch, he was a couple foxholes down from where we was. We kind of looked at each other. We didn't say nothing. We got relieved, went to sleep, woke up in the morning and kind of like, dude, did you see what that was? And he's like, no. He goes, you didn't catch it either? I was like, no. And that's pretty much where we left it at, was that right there. So that's why I did that encounter first, because I had kind of a personal connection with that counter. Not only was I there, but I experienced something strange there as well. So is this something that comes through periodically and we just, by some strange quinky dink, both of us experienced it, just different, decades apart? Possibly. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't have eyes on it, so I cannot tell you what it was. If I heard you too, that noise, I'd run. Yeah, I was like, what the F is going on? Because all it was like that. And it would, the sound, its walking was like a thump, thump, thump. It wasn't quick. It was just kind of slow. Luckily it's nighttime. Sound travels great distances at night. I don't know where it was. I just know it was down the hill from us. Don't know what it was doing. Don't know what it was. Ray says, I live in a no-fly zone by the Army Depot. Yeah. A lot of those have a no-fly zone. A lot of them do. So fast forward, I'm at K-Bay, Kaneohe Bay, Hawaii, K-Bay. And I'm pretty sure most of you guys in the chat know the old TV show Gilligan's Island. I love that show. I grew up on that show. The entrance or the intro to that video or that TV show was filmed at K-Bay, Kaneohe Bay. You guys heard me and Urso talking about the night marchers being at K-Bay, looking at seeing the night marchers up on the mountain beside H3. which we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Don says we got get a lot of Army choppers flying over late at night. Low. Yeah, there's some stuff fixing to go down. It's going to be good. It's not initially going to be good because of what's got to happen, but at the end, it's going to be something good. Yep, and Marianne, Ginger, and Skipper, man, I had such a crush on Ginger and Marianne. I had a big crush on them too. So I am on Waikiki Beach. First time I've been to the ocean. Amy says, Eric, Friday at the nature reserve, something was spacing me in the trees with heavy footfall in the leaves the whole way. It was invisible, and the feathers that I brought home with me disappeared. Oh, wow. I bet you was, I mean, I could see you. You was probably. I can just picture you being like, it's like, what is that? Yeah, no kidding, Robin. Like they were never there. I might not go back because I was scared. I get that. Yeah, absolutely. Rest in peace, Marianne. Yeah. So, anyways, I'm on Waikiki Beach for the first time. I'm an old Missouri hillbilly, and I was out, so I'm not going to deny it. There was adult beverages involved in this situation, and so I was on the beach, feeling pretty good, watching the moon rise up from the ocean. I bet you was. I bet you was, Amy. So I'm sitting on this beach watching the moon come up on the ocean, and I'm thinking, man, this is just absolutely beautiful. And I have to. Hawaii is an amazing, beautiful place, folks. There's so much tradition, so much lure, so much paranormal, supernatural activity there. I mean, Hawaii is just is absolutely stunning, man. Rest in peace, Joan Lockhart too. Yeah, June Lockhart too. Yeah. But I remember looking up, and what I seen, I was like, God, I don't remember being at a luau. If you and none of you guys been to luau, they dance with the shells but it's not really shell. They don't. That's all Holly Scrooge, but they got the top and they got the grass skirts. Eric may or may not have partook in. Yeah, may I may or may not have found a Hawaii version of a wild turkey while on the beach of Waikiki. I may or may not have partook in an adult beverage and sit there and go when I was done. 101 of them. But I looked up and I seen this absolutely stunning Samoa woman. I mean, she was just, God, she was so beautiful. And I remember, I was so, I'm not going to sugarcoat, man. I'm a Marine grunt. We have basically 3 functions on our mind, and that's eat, sleep, and bump uglies. I was trying to think of the term, bumping uglies with whatever we can get our hands on. Eric brought his lawnmower and weeder. No, I didn't. No, I was on a towel on the beach. But I was like, I remember looking at her going, God dang, this chick is banging, dude. She's like, wow. I mean, she was absolutely stunning. So my little how do I put it for YouTube? Swaying sea legs while on land butt tried to get up to go talk to this absolutely stunning Samoa woman. And by the time I got up, she vanished. I mean, like she was gone. So, and there was no footprints whatsoever where she was at. and besides the stuff that was already there, because she wasn't about 10 foot from where I was, and I kind of looked and I was like, "Damn, am I daydreaming this?" I mean, I could have swear this chick was right here. Uh, Ray says the only three states I've never been to: Alaska, Utah, and Colorado. Seen Hawaii after my time in service in 1991. Yeah, Hawaii's absolutely stunning. I mean, it is. Now, when people think of Hawaii, they're actually thinking of the island of Kauai. The island of Kauai is just gorgeous. Yes, he is. The Rock is Samoan, part Samoan. He's half Samoan. Yeah. That you are absolutely, you know what I'm talking about, Bolt Gun. See, I ain't gonna be able to lie because Bolt Gun's gonna be able to call me out. But I'll tell you, us Marine grunts, we all we think about is eat, sleep, and reproduce. We'll just leave it at that. Reproduce. You know, we're Marines literally are modern day Vikings, man. That's all we give a crap about. So it blew my mind. It's man. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about, man. Uh but it blew my mind, and it kind of a sobering moment because you're sitting there going, dude, I know I saw this chick. I literally this banging chick was right here. What the hell happened? So there's two things that came into my mind when I experienced that is, did I just black out from trying to get up and she disappeared, or did I dream this thinking I actually saw it? And nowadays I look at it and I pretty much was like, I think I saw a ghost, man. I literally think I saw a Samoan woman ghost. And I remember because not only was she stunning, but she had this look of sorrow and pain as she looked over the ocean. It's just God, it was incredible. It was incredible. Yeah, pretty much that's what we are, walking hormones. Yeah, that's all Marines are, man. Seen the battleship Arizona. Oh, that's a cool one. Yeah, seen the battleship Arizona while there. Then shipped out to San Diego, then back to Maine. Yeah, and I took the tour of the USS Missouri while I was there. I mean, that is a spectacular canoe right there. The battleship Missouri is just, that canoe is just like kick ass, and it still can be operational to this day. What the hell? Uh, think the beard did the talking. I didn't get a chance to talk to her, man. She disappeared. But so that was like my first paranormal experience in Hawaii was on Waikiki Beach in Waikiki. Um, it was just, it was mind blowing. When I sobered up and I got to thinking about what happened, I was like, dude, I seen a ghost. And I literally seen the ghost on the beach of Waikiki. And if anybody's listening later on or listening tonight, if you've been to the beach, Waikiki Beach at night, let me know in the comments if you've seen the same type of Samoa chick that I'm talking about. Because I mean, I swear to God, she came straight from a luau. But she did. I mean, my heart was kind of broken when I sobered up and thought about it because I was like, she's mourning something. I mean, you can see the pain and sorrow on her face. Yeah. You're welcome, Amy. I was proud to do it. I'd do it again. Yeah, pretty much, man. I was trying to get up, and between the adult beverages and the sand, yeah, my butt wasn't doing too good at it. I did not succeed very well. About 2 years ago, I was sitting on a couch watching TV with a very pretty woman, and I looked over at her, and her eyes were two black holes. Looked away and looked back to make sure. Yep, two black holes. Dude, that's creepy as hell, Bolt Gun. That is, oh man, that is creepy as hell. Ain't all warships that are on display have to be able to go back into time of war? Yes, I believe so, Don. I believe so, yes. Thanks to the crew of the USS JFK, I got home. Hell yeah, man. I spent some time on canoes out in that ocean. Got my attention, haven't even seen that before. No, dude, I mean, that'd freak me the hell out. I mean, seriously, that would freak me out if I seen something like that. But that Samoa chick that disappeared. And and that's the funny thing is she looked like a real person sitting there. She wasn't translucent, full bodied apparition. Um, it'd be like one of you guys sitting there at the beach in front of me. I mean, literally, it was. I thought she was a real person. That's usually a couple different things, Bounty. On that, that's a message of she's probably got something in her that's not very pleasant, or you can literally have visions while you're awake, and trying to tell you something. And generally, that's what those two are the main things for that. Oops, I think my chat jumped on me. Damn it. Okay, let's try to get here. Yeah. Yep, it jumped on me. Okay. Yeah. It's a sobering moment though when you experience something like that, man. No, not always. No, not always. Like this Samoa girl I saw on the beach, I literally thought she was a flesh and blood person. Like there was nothing to indicate that she was a spirit until I tried to get up and she disappeared. I mean, she had the most beautiful white and brown eyes. I mean, she was stunning. I mean, absolutely freaking stunning. One of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my whole life. And I thought, man, I've got it made. I'm an old Marine grunt sitting on this beach, and she's the only chick with me on here. We're on a beach in Hawaii. This is going to be romantic as crap, So I was going to shoot my shot. She disappeared. Went to school with her. I was married for 31 years and lost my wife. Oh, I hate hearing that, bolt gun. Yeah, I'd be wondering if that's not something trying to tell you something bad was going to happen, or if she's not possessed by something. Eric, you should write a story about her. That would be cool. That's not a bad idea, Amy. That's not a bad idea at all. But yeah, that was my first paranormal experience in Hawaii. My very first one. I was 20 years old. I'd been to I just got put into, just got selected for Scout Snipers. Was going to spend some time on the beach before I couldn't do it until my training was done. Because I was fixing to spend the next, quite a few months doing Scout Sniper training. So getting time off to do things wasn't always going to be an opportunity for me. So I was soaking it up, man. I got to the fleet, got to my unit, and I went, oh, by the way, here's your orders. You're going to Scout Snipers. So I was doing Scout Sniper training up until I jacked my left knee up. And then I had to leave Scout Snipers, get back to my fleet unit. And 3 days after being my fleet unit, they're like, oh, by the way, you're now MSC and SOC. Go down here, draw this gear, get a sea bag. This is what your gear is going to be in. You got a slot here. Here's your pager. Something happens. This will go off. If you're out in town on Libo, you need to call every couple hours, make sure nothing's going on. When I was living in Minnesota in the one house that was built in 1856 that was haunted, I figured there was a portal somewhere. I had 128 different spirits coming and going. Wow, Ray. Yeah, wow. She lost her husband just a few days before I lost my wife. Started seeing each other after 38 years. Kind of weird circumstances. Shit didn't work out. Not too crazy about black eyes. I get it, man, and I get it. And that makes me wonder too. Is you're not seeing the pain and the sorrow through her eyes. The old saying is the key, the path to a human soul is through their eyes. She could have been dark because of everything that happened. He yanked my soul out of my body, and my body fell to the floor on fire and lifeless, and he almost killed me. I had to crawl down the stairs because my whole body was burning and trembling. Oh my gosh. No. Hey, Jonas side. That's no bueno. That is no bueno on that. That is damn. Yeah, no. That is something that's something evil. That's just something evil. Yeah, that's not something you want to mess with. So oh crap, boss is texting. Sorry, my boss was texting me. Oh, it was a hat man? Okay. Yeah. Okay, that explains a lot. Yes. Okay, I get that. Yeah, there seems to be a lot of bad stuff that happens with the hat man. Yeah, that's evil. So fast forward a couple of years, I'm on my first deployment. I get back, I come home, and I meet my first wife. She was dark, but not from what happened. Straight up lying, psycho rhymes with drawer. It was definitely a warning. See, there you go. So that kind of fits what I was talking about. Yeah. Sometimes you have to remind them you are untouchable. Don't let them push you around. Absolutely. So fast forward, I come back from my first deployment. I'm home on R&R. I meet my first wife. She was still in high school at the time. We kind of hit it off. Eventually decided that we're going to get married. End up getting married, and 9/11 happens. So I'm a 21-year-old Marine who just got married. All processes of getting my wife to Hawaii is now put on hold. I can't have a single bit of communication with anybody back home. And I spent 2 weeks without communicating with anybody back home. Then I was able to get a 30-second phone call pretty much. And all I was allowed to say was, I'm fine, I'm alive. I'll talk to you when I can. And that was pretty much the extent of my phone call. That was it. And they tried to ask questions. I had to repeat that. And I was like, I love you, but I got to go. And then click. That was it. So things start calming down. I'm working a crap ton of hours. We're targeted. We're a main target. So, we're on high alert. We're doing all the crap that we're doing. And then eventually I'm able to get my wife out there, my wife and stepson out there. So we're living in a little studio apartment waiting on base housing. Where was that? That was that was over. It was in Honolulu. We were living in Honolulu in a little studio apartment. And this is early 90s. I'm sorry, early 2000s. And back then, like a studio apartment here was like $250 a month. $400 a month studio apartment. You got a pretty banging studio apartment. Generally, they're about $250 a month. Ours was $750 a month. That's how much our studio apartment cost back then. Spent a month there, month and a half. No, almost 2 months. It wasn't quite 2 months. It was almost 2 months we spent in the studio apartment. And I'm having to drive to K-Bay every single day. We finally get base housing. We get moved in. We're not far from the rifle range, which the rifle range is sitting in a dormant volcano. That's where we done all our rifle training at, on the rifle range. And one night, me and her were laying in bed. Oh gosh, Ray, yeah, I feel you on that, buddy. I hate moving. I hate moving. And all of a sudden, we have this full body apparition, World War II Marine, walk in our bedroom, stop at the foot of our bed, and just look at us. And you can tell, I mean, his clothes are jacked, they're kind of burnt, looks like they're blood stained. So I mean, I knew, plus the fact that he was translucent, I knew he was looking at a ghost. And I looked at him, I was like, brother, this is our bedroom. Kind of got some privacy. Is there anything I could do for you? And he just smiled, walked around our bed, went through the wall, and went to my stepson's room. Our stepson's room was right on the other side of the wall of ours. That was the first time I saw him. And then I remember, because right down on the beach, down the hill from where our housing was a tombstone on the edge of the water that was for a World War II Marine that had died there. Oh, that's right. I remember you saying something about that. Yeah, I remember you saying that now. So I've often wondered if that was tied to him. And it was cool, but he visited us almost every night. And this was, besides my grandmother, was the only time that I seen a full body apparition, and he was pretty much not every night, but most nights he was a full body apparition. And he always did. He always came in my room and stopped. Like, with me and my wife would be getting ready to do some mattress wrestling, and I'd have to look up. It's like, hey, bro, we're about to have some marital actions going on. Do you mind giving us our privacy? And he would smile and leave and go to our stepson's room. That was his routine. So, I mean, that was the second paranormal experience that I had. And he was a multiple time paranormal experience. I don't know for sure if he is that Marine from that tombstone there on the rocks right by the edge of the water. And this little spot down here is where it was deep enough that the humpbacks would come in close to shore there and swim back out. That's where his tombstone was. In fact, let me pull up this other deal. I might be able to show you on Google Earth the spot that I'm talking about. I'll have to wait for it to load up. So that was the second one. The third paranormal experience I had in Hawaii was the night marchers. And by then I was good with the locals. The locals love me, which locals don't like haoles. They are, anybody that's a mainlander and white, locals don't like you. You're a haole. They don't like you at all. I was very fortunate and very blessed that I got in good with the locals. So I got to experience things that other haoles didn't get to experience, like actual luau's, not no touristy luau. I'm talking about an actual luau and hog roast. I got to go to a lot of that stuff. And to be honest, that's because I was bull riding. Hey, Eric, Amy goes, hey, Eric, do you think that's who comes to see you at the same time in your life for their drink that you leave? No, it could be. I'm not going to say yes. I'm not going to say no. These feel like different entities. that come, but it could be. I'm not going to say no. I don't think it is. Still waiting on that to load up. Um, then I was sitting there at Schofield, and after the night marchers deal, because we had a local that was in the same platoon as me, and I got to go with him on a lot of stuff. And I thought when I seen this row of torches coming, walking around the top of the mountains there next to H3, I thought that was an actual luau getting ready to happen. And I looked at him, was like, dude, let's go to that luau. I didn't know there was a luau tonight. He goes, nah, bro, that'd be no luau. I was like, what do you mean, dude? It's torch lights. It's cool. I'm craving a luau. He goes, nah, bro, that'd be night marchers, bro. Not luau. I went, what the hell's the night marchers? And that's when I learned about them. And that is the only time that I know that a paranormal entity can unalive somebody. And that's the night marchers. I was very blessed that I didn't get an up close and personal experience with night marchers, because I probably wouldn't be sitting here talking to you today. They are very well known for unaliving people. Okay, let's see, where's Hawaii? Let me share this screen real quick. Heck yeah. Yeah, he's only about 45 minutes from where I live at. Okay, let's take a look here. Okay, that's Africa. There's South America. There's United States. Okay. Let's come over here. There's Hawaii. Looks like a big old snake skeleton, along with the dragon under the ocean in Hawaii. There's that dragon sitting on the ocean floor. Zoom in. Where's Oahu? Oahu should be this one right here. Is it? I think that's Oahu. Oh, it's being slow. Yeah, that's what I thought. Oahu. There's Pearl City. There's H1, H2. There's Waianae. Oh, Waianae was a bad place to be at. Kailua. Kaneohe. Okay, Kaneohe. That's where I want. Right here is where I seen the night marchers. Right here. Here's the rifle range. So my house, let it get caught up. Wow, they changed the housing up since I lived there. Ain't none of it looks like it used to. Wow. They've changed that a lot since I lived there. None of that was there when I lived there. They've but basically I lived right here. This is where I lived at. Let me double check. Yep. Oh no, that's never mind. That's boarded. Oh, they changed the names on it. They used to be Dwayne. No, that's where I lived. Yeah. So I lived right here. Of course, this is completely new. This is completely different than when I lived there. So literally, if I come up, my personal beach is right here. This is where I swim a lot. Or I came here to Officers Beach up here. This is Officers Beach. I've done a lot of swimming down through here. Right there. There's Officers Beach. Sorry. This is Officers Beach. This is an arch underneath about the top of that arch is about 15 foot under the water. You got to dive down about 20, 25 feet. You can swim under it, and it's about 10, 15 feet wide and come up on the other side where the waves break. I used to swim under that arch and come out here all the time and then swim back underneath it and come back to shore. This is Officers Beach. But whenever God, I can't believe they changed the names of it and everything. Wow. His tombstone is out here. This is where that tombstone was. Of course, there ain't no way that I can actually zoom in on it. But right out here, no. Yep. Right out here is where his tombstone was. And it was a World War II Marine. And humpback whales used to come in right here. They would come in, kind of circle around, and come back out. So I used to, quite often, I would come up here and be in this water right here, literally looking at humpback whales 20, 30 feet from me. Watch them come up and surface. And they used to do that. And done a lot of swimming on this beach here. Done a lot of swimming on there. I used to have pictures of me sitting on this rock right here. But yeah, that's where I used to live at in K-Bay. And like I said, this was our rifle range up in here. Wow, they changed it up too. Here's where our rifle range was right here. Now it's looking, there's the pistol range. Here's the old berm. Wow, they changed that up too. Man, they changed a lot of stuff. But yeah, so no, that's right. It was Bordelon Loop. Never mind. Mom brain farting. Dwayne Loop was another spot. Anyway, so this is where I used to see that World War II soldier every night. So how it was when I lived there. Here was my front door. I'd come up the steps, had my utility closet here. My front door is here. This area was my dining room. This area was my kitchen. Had my living room, and then bedroom here and bedroom here, and my back balcony was here. And so I loved it because I would sit on my back balcony all the time, and I had a view of the ocean. I had a view of the ocean from my balcony. And I used to get a kick out of it because I can park here. And back then we had little tin roof buildings, open buildings, just had a tin roof on it here where we parked our vehicles. It was actually right here. This was all this sidewalk. It was a sidewalk that came up here to the steps, and then you had people that lived on the bottom of 2 floors. We lived on, and there was 2 places on the top floor. We lived on the top floor here. I can come in my front door and it's not raining, come out on my balcony, it'd be raining. That's how strange Hawaii was. So, yeah, I used to have a lot of paranormal experiences in that home. And I always thought it was cool because I found that tombstone, because I remember being up on that road going, what the hell's that down there on the rocks? And of course, I was working my way down to watch the humpbacks and get down there, and you're going to find out. I can't remember the name. Private. It was Private something. I can't remember his name. Was a World War II Marine that had died there. So I'm thinking that very well who was coming in my room every night. So, I mean, that's just some of the stuff. Now let's go to Fort Benning, Georgia. Fort Benning, Georgia is on the swamps, folks. It's swampy. Actually, I'll just keep this. I'll keep this shared. Let me share the screen. I'll show you. Hey, Manisha. I wish I did. I would love to have mirrors. I've only lived in one place that had mirrors. Oh, dude, it was. Oh my gosh, Bounty, just to be that close to humpback whales. A hillbilly from Missouri being that close to humpback whales. Amazing. I mean, I loved watching them jump out of the water. I that was one of my favorite things about Hawaii. Get back to so here's Fort Benning, Georgia. Either they got spots that's blotched out on this, or it's taking forever to load up. And this is after I got hurt, went to the Army. So it's hard to see, but you got a lot of swamp area right in here. And let me see. Nope, that's not it. Where in the heck's the rec center at? Yeah. No kidding, Kevin. No kidding. I'm trying to find the rec center. Did you? Yeah, I haven't been there in a while, see, dude. It's good seeing you, sweetie. I was trying to find the rec center. But anyways, I used to come down here and fish all the time and do a bunch of stuff. In fact, where's the Chattahoochee at? What the heck? Where's the Chattahoochee at? Okay. There's the Chattahoochee. I've actually fell in here. But I remember one time we were somewhere along here on the Chattahoochee. Is that it? Nope, that's not it. I'm not seeing it, but we were walking our Great Dane dog. My oldest daughter was born here. I was born there in Georgia, and my youngest was born at Fort Riley. I can't find that recreational area, but we were somewhere along the Chattahoochee in a recreational area there on Fort Benning, and it was just me that night, and I thought this was a gator at first. That was my first thought. Was holy crap! I've got a big ass gator. coming out of the water, and I had Goliath with me, the Great Dane we rescued. I had Goliath with me, and I was like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna have to put Goliath in the truck." So I start to make my way back to the truck, and because the spot I'm looking for is where we used to launch our boats. We can rent boats and launch them, and travel along the Chattahoochee, but I can't find the spot. So I don't know if it's just not there anymore or what. I'm not seeing it. But oh, was he? That's cool. Whoops, it's wrong one. That's cool. Yep, way down yonder on the Chattahoochee. It gets hotter than a hoochie coochie. We laid rubber on Georgia asphalt. Got a little crazy, but we never got caught. Um, so, anyways, I put Goliath back in the truck because I was like, man, I know how Goliath is. He's going to think I'm in trouble, and Goliath's going to go after this daggone big ass gator I just heard sliding into the water. I never did get. I mean, I got eye shine, but I never could get confirmation. But I remember looking at eye shine, going, "That's weird. That don't. I mean, yes, it kind of looks like a. Yep, Alan Jackson. Yep, that kind of looked like a gator, but it seemed like the head was like way too big to be a gator. And I wish I could show you the spot, but I'm not finding the boat ramp, which kind of sucks. But if anybody was down and stationed at Fort Benning, Georgia, you know what I'm going to talk about because that's where they launched the boats at. We have some cool places here at Nassau. And then we have Galveston State Park and Big Thicket and some nature preserves. Yeah. I mean, there's some beautiful places down in that area. Absolutely, down there in Texas. Man, that's kind of aggravating me that I can't find that spot. So they must have changed it too since I'd been there. And so I had my Surefire flashlight. I love Surefire. I used it a lot in Iraq. My Surefire flashlight because it'd blind somebody. So if I'm trying to get a drop on my target and it's nighttime, I'll hit them with that Surefire and blind them. And then I've now got the upper hand. So I mean, Surefire flashlights was my favorite flashlight to use while I was in the military. So I always had it on me. So we're walking at night. I'm pretty sure me and my ex-wife was fighting. That's why I was alone, probably. And so I took Goliath for a walk. We went down to the boat ramp, and I heard a loud splash. It sounded like a gator slide into the water, just a lot bigger. So I'm like, dude, this is a massive gator. If anybody's been around gators knows what I'm talking about. You can almost judge the size of a gator by how loud that splash is into the water when they slide into it. Gators generally don't run into the water unless they're running away from something. They have what's called slides, and they just slide down into the water. And so that's what I thought I was dealing with. I thought I was dealing with a big gator, probably the biggest gator I'd ever seen. And so I got that Surefire flashlight. I was looking, and folks, I'm going to hide this for a second so you can see me a little bit better. From what I could see, and this is probably about 30 yards from me, out in the middle of the Chattahoochee, it looked like its head was bigger than mine. And I'm like, dude, that's a big gator. If that's a gator, that's a big gator. Carl says, oh, yes, so true. Yeah. Rarely will they run into the water. If they're running from somebody, yes. Otherwise, no, they slide in there. And that sound they make, I mean, if you've been around enough gators, you're going to know what I'm talking about. You can pretty much judge the size. Hey, Aaron. You can pretty much judge the size of that gator by the splash it makes when it slides in. Nothing meaner than a mama gator. See, dude, ain't no joke. That is no joke. So I don't know what I saw. Now, there's been reports of lizard people from the Fort Benning, Georgia area. I'm not going to say that's what I saw. All I saw was eyes. That's all I got was eye shine. So I can't. It very well could be one of those rare giant gators. I don't know. I mean, I just did not get a good look at it, but it was sitting. I'm just going to use this as an example. Say this was the boat ramp where I was at because I can't find it. I was like probably in here. My truck was up here. I put Goliath in it. This thing would be right here in the middle of the Chattahoochee. I've only been to the gator farm in Colorado, never been to the swamps. Heard a lot of stories about swamps. Yeah, swamps are creepy as hell, man. There is a lot of weird crap that happens in the swamps. So, I mean, I'm sitting here 30, 40 yards shot looking at this gator right in this general area here. From where I was at, to me, it looked like it was out here, but it could have been closer. It really, honest and truly, it could have been closer. That's why I'm saying it's somewhere right in here. I've had to escape a 14-foot gator, and one hit the 12-footer boat I was in, and it was 2 foot longer. Yeah. I mean, you generally, about an average on gators you're going to hear is 12-footers. But I can tell you now, there's gators that's bigger than 12 foot out there. And is that what I saw? I don't know. I'm not going to sit there and tell you, yes, man, that was a lizard man I saw. Is that what comes to mind? What are you doing? Is that what comes to mind when I'm seeing the massive side of that thing? I'm actually trying to see if we can see a gator slide here. No, I used to drive big truck across Gator Alley. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oops. Well, I've always said nothing meaner than a cow with a calf. Mama going to protect those young'uns. That's no joke, man. Yeah, Bears Island is a big swamp and creepy as hell. Absolutely, man. Yeah. I ain't never been to PI, but I've heard stories. I've seen Jeff's pictures of a lizard man. That's something that's burned into your mind. Oh yeah, I've seen them too. I can't sit there and I'm not going to lie to you guys. Say yeah, I saw a lizard man. I don't know what I saw. My flashlight had a red lens. Yeah, mine did too. Red, blue, yellow, green, and then the white. When I was on deployment, if I was using it as a deterrent, I had it on white. If I was trying to hide what I was doing, then it was on red. Well, I was actually trying to take a quick look because these gator slides can be so big. Like that might be a gator slide right there. But you'd be able to see them from a Google Earth map. Some of these gator slides get pretty big. So I don't know. Now I can tell you, I've been in parts of Fort Benning, Georgia, that I knew I wasn't alone. Bigfoot, Dogman, both. I don't know. It got to the point where I didn't go into the woods at Fort Benning on my own anymore, or the swamps. Something was in them swamps. Hey, Ryan. But yeah, something was in them swamps there at Fort Benning. And I stopped going, alone, out there. Cause I love being in the woods, and I'd go at nighttime and everything else. Top of the hour. Okay. Give me a second. Thank you, Roxanne. That I ended up taking people with me because I knew I wasn't alone. And, there's a lot of creepy stuff. So if you're wanting to investigate, some paranormal activity and you're in the Georgia area, cryptid activity, supernatural activity, hit the Fort Benning, Georgia area up. You won't be disappointed. Top of the hour. Let's play some Dark Angel Medical. Here we go. Dang it, it jumped on me, hit the wrong one. If you're looking for the best first aid and trauma kits on the market, look no further to Dark Angel Medical. There's a reason why I carry that stuff. There's a reason why I asked Doc to promote his product on my show. I love it. I don't get paid a dime for promoting his product. I love his product that much that I asked him to let me do it. I created the tunes, I created the videos, the artworks for that because I like Dark Angel Medical that much. I own 2 kits too. In fact, that one kit that was in that video is the kit that I have on my field pack. Go to darkangelmedical.com/trauma kits to order them. You're going to pay for what you get. Doc is the godfather of Kit for Life. If you use that kit to save a life, he will replace what you use on that kit, and his medicines have a 2-year shelf life. He was the first person to do that. Use Cryptid 20 for 20% off. If you have FSA or HSA, you can use that to buy your kits. If you're poor like me, then you can't pay for the kits outright. You can use Sezzle, and 4 payments, and that kit's paid off. Guys, more. Stop. You have 4 payments, and that kit's paid off. That's what I use as Sezzle. If you want to watch some good educational videos on how to treat, do first aid work, you can go to YouTube to Dark Angel Medical 5115 or to Instagram to Dark Angel Medical. And he's got really good educational videos on there. Carrie Pocket Doc Davis, the owner and co-founder of Dark Angel Medical, will come to your area and do first aid and trauma training for you. You can go to darkangelmedical.com and get put on a list for Doc to come out. If you're a business owner, you're the safety person of a business, I highly recommend hiring Carrie Pocket Doc Davis to come out and do your first aid kit training, first aid and trauma training. Okay, let's make sure I ain't missed nothing here. Forensic scientists determined that Lucy fell from a tree, and by the tears and rips on her bones, she suffered a broken hip and was attacked by a croc. Crocs are older than we thought. Yeah. The crocs get old, man. Gators get old too. Happy birthday, Ryan. Lucy was one of the oldest human ancestors ever discovered. Oh, yes. I know what you're talking about. My cousin Troy Landry hunts gators in Louisiana. Yeah, I was wondering if you guys were related. And I like Troy. Troy's Troy's an extremely intelligent man. People wouldn't think that by watching him on the boob tube. Troy is an extremely intelligent man. Where our military bases are located is not by accident, or just is it by accident or random choice. I've often wondered that, Bolt. Isn't by accident or random choice. Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I really do. I won't go into the swamps anymore without someone with me, not as young as I used to be, and there's power in numbers. Absolutely. Yeah. And I used to run around there. Ryan, they always are. I call them my little dog men. They think they got to fight at my feet while I'm alive on YouTube. Yeah, I remember studying Lucy quite a few years ago, and that's an interesting subject to kind of look into. You're welcome, Ryan. Make sure I ain't missing. Yeah, Amy, the dog men are at it again. Got quite a bit louder this time too. Bye, Scared Silly. Oh, hi, Scared Silly. Who did I miss? I miss Scared Silly. Did I miss somebody coming in? Oh, hey, Scared. Yeah, Troy's awesome. Troy is awesome. Welcome to the show, Scared Silly. Um, so next, I want to go to Fort Riley, Kansas. When I came back from my third deployment, I deployed out of Fort Benning, Georgia, on my third deployment. And yes, this is the head of Quetzalcoatl. You can kind of see the figure there, Quetzalcoatl, which is a dragon from Mesoamerica. But we're going to go to Kansas for a minute, and we're going to. There's Missouri. Okay, there's Wichita. There's 70. JC. That's where I used to live in JC, Junction City. So I remember being when I was stationed here at Fort Riley after I left Fort Benning when my unit got disbanded. I was one of the lucky few that got out of Georgia, and I got stationed here at Fort Benning. And this is where I did my fourth deployment out of. I've done 2 in the Marines, 2 in the Army. First to second deployments were out of the Marine Corps. Third one was out of Fort Benning, Georgia. The fourth one was out of Fort Riley, Kansas. Let me find the tank trails here. Was that them? I don't remember them being in that spot. I thought they were further down south over here. I guess that is the tank trails. I remember them being in a different spot. Oh, wait. That might be why. Huh. I'm having a hard time finding the tank trails. What the hell's going on where I can't find the tank trails? Yeah, that might be it, actually. That might be the tank trails. So there is ponds out here off the tank trail that I used to catfish on at night. That's not it. Okay. I'm having a hard time finding them tank trails for some reason. They're usually pretty easy to find. I was thinking they were here. Oh, no, that's them. Yeah, that's them. There's the tank trails. Okay, I was right. So I've literally fished out of that pond. They called it a lake, but it's to me it's a pond. And what I would do is I would park my truck here, unless I was lazy. Then I would back my truck up close and then go fishing. Yeah, we ain't Kansas anymore, Toto. Me spinning so fast, I got a little dizzy. Toto, give me the jackpot. You can't be in charge of our adventures anymore. Heck yeah. I saw dozens of those huge new Army tanks from the highway today. Yeah, they're rolling. Troy makes great tasting gator on the stick, way better than the fair people do. He is a very tender and he is a very tender. It falls apart. Oh, it's very tender. Yeah, Amy, it has. I've caught a lot of bass out of this lake here, this little pond. But this is one of the ponds I used to fish out of. I would fish from here. Sometimes I'd back my truck up. Generally, I have my truck parked there. Well, that is not the pond that I want to focus on right now. There is another little pond. If I can find it. That is where I had one of the most interesting encounters on a military base. Bad enough though, I stopped. Is that it? That's it. Okay. So I was fishing out here. Nope, that's not it. Sorry. I was wrong. I'm wrong. That wasn't it. I'm glad I double checked myself on that one. And where in the hell did that pond go? Okay, I'm not finding that pond anymore. Could have swore it was off the tank trails. I know it was off the tank trails. Well, so I'm not going to spend forever looking for it because it's smaller than that. It's probably, it was roughly that size of that one that I was showing you that I was starting to get that I realized was wrong. So we're going to take and use this for example. But there's a big hill that comes up this way, and I would drive down, and there was like a couple trees. We'll just say like right in here. Actually, it was very similar to that right there. Maybe it is that pond I'm thinking of. I used to park my truck back in here, and then I remember one night I had my lawn chair out, had my lantern going, and I kept hearing something back over in here. And I didn't have my flashlight with me like I normally did. I thought I did, but I'd left it on this night here. I left it on my night or my dresser. So all I had was my lantern. So I'm trying to see what the hell this is. I could feel something very, very unpleasant where I was at. And I had my truck parked sideways, had the lawn chair there on the beach, and I was catfishing. And I shrugged it off. I was like, man, it's just me out here at night by myself. So I shrugged it off originally. And then I kept hearing something, and the feeling got stronger and stronger and stronger to the point where I didn't even put my stuff up. I gathered it up, threw it in the bed of my truck, and hauled ass out of there. I mean, and I hauled ass. If anybody's been on the tank trails in Canuway Bay, or at Fort Riley, or any type of military base, where we can tell you, them things are bumpy as hell. You don't drive fast on tank trails. They are jacked up. I tried to straddle the tank tracks as much as possible because they'll beat the teeth out of you. Roxanne wouldn't be able to keep her teeth in her mouth. She'd have to put them in a case. That's how bumpy it is. I mean, they would just they knock teeth out of you when you're a regular person, but something about how tore up them tank trails get, it'll jack you up. There's the ranges. I might have been in the wrong spot. But yeah, it's they'll jack you up, man. They are. No, that's not. Unless they changed it. They may have put a road into it now. That's it. That's the tank. That's the pond. Yeah. Okay. Wow. It has changed. But yeah, Roxanne would definitely have to have her teeth. I mean, they're just bumpy as hell. They put a road in here since I've been in. That's it, though. That's it. Because I was fishing right here. And I either usually fish there for bass or I fish here for catfish in this cove here. And I was parked right here. And my truck sideways. And my passenger door is facing this way. So my truck was facing this way. And I was sitting there fishing. I had my lawn chair. It just changed. I had my lawn chair sitting out here with my lantern. I had 3 poles out. I had 2 catfish poles and a regular pole, an ultralight. Um, Early in April, I caught two 14-inch shell crackers. Wow. At least I don't have old timers. uh, but yeah, I had my truck parked here, and man, there was something. I don't know what it was. I don't. This was new because this wasn't there. Um, there was something here, and it was evil. I mean, that's the best way I can describe it. Power grab for from Lowe's and teeth just stay in. Yeah. Um, and I remember because generally I'd either back my truck up and fish off my tailgate, or a lot of times I just use my lawn chair. And so I was usually parked here with my lawn chair here. And I can't tell you what it was. I cannot get eyes on it. I tried shining my lantern up in here to see what it was, but something was there. To the point that I just threw my stuff in the back of my truck as quick as possible, and I hauled ass out of there. And you guys can see how rough this is. This is tank. I was in the wrong spot. This is the tank trails. You can see how rough that is. But there is always good catfishing in there. That's why I catfish there. I took my 5-year-old to Cherokee and went up on the mountains and camped alone with her. We were watched the whole time. That's when I decided we ain't camping without men anymore. Aaron, I get that 100%. I get that. I get that a lot. Yeah, I get you on that one. Yeah, I can't blame you. I don't eat fish or seafood. There's something fishy about it. It smells bad to me, and I can't eat it. But I envy you guys that do because it looks really wonderful. I love crawfish. I love shrimp, lobster, crab, sea bass. Yeah, whoop his ass, sea bass. But whenever I was out there, this is another one of those times. It was a rare occasion that I got ran out of an area, and man, I was pretty much this was.
What do you say we cut the chit chat a hole?
And I was like, we're cutting this out. There is something here, and I don't give a damn what anybody says. There is something here. This area is known for dogman. Hey, brother William. Gosh dang it. My brother's trying to call me. I tried to ask people what's going on because I knew there was reports here. Oh, you think that a cryptid's tagged you or something supernatural? Um, but I did. I hauled ass out of there, and this area is known for dogmen. I knew something was weird about that area. And when I tried to ask, I got the normal, don't worry about it. There's nothing to worry about, which is why I was like that video clip. It wasn't a couple years later that I found out that this area was well known for them. The mounds outside of St. Louis has dogmen sightings. Yeah. So, I mean, once again, I can't tell you that was a dogman that I encountered out there. I could tell you that was one of the few times I've been ran out of an area. And this was it. This was that spot. Whatever is in that area hunting, I can tell you now, humans on the menu. That's exactly how I felt. And the reason why I catfished here is because this little creek had allowed nutrients in here, and this is where your catfish are going to spool up to eat. It's fresh water, fresh food that comes in. That's where you're going to find your catfish. That's why I catfished in here. We have rabbits and chickens, but I've only been ran out of my yard once. What ran you out of your yard? You just started going outside alone now? Oh, during the daytime? Yeah, William. Meat's back on the menu, boys. Absolutely. But that was a very terrifying moment for me. I'm not too big to admit that scared the crap out of me. Whatever was stalking me there scared the holy living crap out of me. And I never went back to that area at night. Never again. I never went back at night after that incident there. That's how bad that scared me. There is a place. Oh, crap. Come on. Moon Lake. This is where we used to trout fish. It was right out of Moon Lake here. And I used to catfish out of there too. This was spot right here was my favorite fishing spot. I fished from this bank multiple times. And I can't tell you how much trout I've caught from catfishing and not even trying to trout fish. And there got to a point I was so successful at catching trout when everybody else had all that fancy get ups, and I was just using a ultralight and a catfish pole, and I was catching trout off of that off the bottom. I had an old man that kind of came, that was there all the time, and when he seen me, he would sit up next to me because I'd give him my trout. I didn't buy trout stamps, so I didn't trout fish. I always fished for catfish, and so I would sit there and he'd just look at me and grin. He'd bring his basket over and I'd throw the trout in it and he'd go back to his spot. I've had lots of days of daybird calls at night and had some telepathy instances where whatever it was at one time wasn't forest people. So you're dealing with probably the Fae. You're dealing with something supernatural. Wouldn't surprise me if it was the Fae. I thought if Moon Valley, when you said Moon Lake, yeah, Moon Lake is where they keep that stock. Well, they used to. I don't know if they still do. They used to keep it stocked full of trout. Used to go. Well, come on, pop up. Used to go out to Lake Cooper at night, drive around deer watching. Used to be tons of deer out there, but there ain't no deer out there anymore. So some big predators moved in and ran them out. You think? That's what it sounded like here, and it sounded like you got. I mean, it could be the Fae, but it's something supernatural without a doubt. Hey, Jessica. Well, you just missed it. I was talking about Fort Benning, Georgia, just a minute ago. When I had that weird instance that I thought was one of the biggest gators I ever saw. I don't know if it was gator, don't know if it was a lizard man, but it was there on the Chattahoochee, the boat ramp there at Fort Benning, Georgia. We're up at Fort Riley, Kansas now. But this is where I went back after I got ran off the tank trails and no longer went out there during the nighttime. I mean, I still fished, bass fished out of it during the day when I had somebody with me. Nighttime, I stopped going. I stopped going alone. I just heard my mom was just telling me about it. Yeah. Yeah, it's some weird. There's some weird crap at Fort Benning, Georgia, man. Especially down in the swamps along the Chattahoochee. I always say, "Blessed be the ancestors, and thank you for the doing all the stuff we know nothing about. Show respect." Absolutely, that's something William and I talk about all the time. You have to show respect. We have a lot of reports of cryptids out of Fort Benning and Fort Stewart. Yeah, there is. There's a lot down in that area. That's frightening, Aaron. I'm so. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I mean, I've heard that verbal, that 800-pound owl, 800-pound dog, and 800-pound bird call in the middle of the night that have vibrated my body whenever it went off. But yeah, that's where I'd go fishing from then on. I mean, that's how. I mean, like I said, I'm not too big to admit that scared the crap out of me. So I stopped going. I wouldn't go back there no more at night. And back then, all I had was a 54 caliber Springfield Hawken muzzle loader. And I was like, I wanted to take it, and often I did. I mean, I did usually take it with me at night, but that's a one-shot ordeal. I mean, yeah, it's a 54. 54, I can drop a deer at 250 yards. And anybody doesn't know black powder, a 54 caliber Springfield Hawken, that's a beast. That's a beast of a rifle. I've dropped a lot of deer with that rifle. In fact, I was going to use it for gator hunting down there in Georgia because I was like, I'm pretty damn sure that 54, I wouldn't have an issue dropping the gator with a 54. And but yeah, that's back when I black powdered hunt mainly. That's all I ever did was bow hunt or black powder hunt because I liked the challenge. That's why I love black powder hunting. That's why I love bow hunting. Now, I need meat more than what I used to because I don't have the luxury that I used to have. So now I hunt with a 7 mag, and I'm usually dropping 3 to 6 deer at a time. Next, there will be a 10,000 pound ballerina as a cryptid. Yeah, no joke, Roxanne. But yeah, I can tell you there is a lot of weird stuff on military bases. Let me shoot out here. We'll go to Japan next. What do you guys want, Japan or do you want Iraq? Which one do you want next? Put it in the comments. What do you want to hear? Iraq next or Japan next? Sushi? Okay. Ireland's beautiful. God, I want to go back to Ireland and Scotland. Oh, is she? Kyushu, Japan is absolutely stunning. Kyushu is, I mean, I've been to Oki, I've been to mainland, and I've been to Kyushu. Kyushu is absolutely stunning. Oops. Where have I missed it? I missed it somewhere. There's Taiwan. There it is. Okay. I was too far south. So, Camp Hansen, Okinawa, was my base of operations while in the Marines on deployment. Our main base transferred from K-Bay, Hawaii, Kaneohe Bay, Hawaii, to Camp Hansen, Okinawa. Where'd it go? There's mainland. Where's Oki at? It should have been right down here. Am I zoomed out too far? Is that why I'm not seeing it? Oops. Oh, wow, that's a good place right there. I'm guarantee I'm looking right over it. Yep, I was too far north. Should have stayed south. I wasn't in Antarctica. I have been to Australia, though. So let's find Camp Hansen here. God, I've done a lot of partying on this island. There it is. This is where I was out of. Muzzle. I love muzzle loading. I love it. This is where my base of operation was while I was deployed in the Marines. So all our missions came out of here. All our orders came out of here. This is where we was at, Camp Hansen. And we would do our cold weather training at Mount Fuji. This is where we do our cold weather training was up here in Mount Fuji, Japan. That don't look like Mount Fuji. Oh, that's... Go back here to Hansen. I knew that wasn't right when that thing zipped me around there. There. Swab. Done a lot of training at Camp Swab, too. Camp Swab was a beautiful, beautiful base, Marine base in Oki. Swab was for the full timers. Hansen was for us part timers. But up in the mountains here, in is that it? God, it's been so long. I can tell you in the mountains there at in Okinawa. Yeah, that had to be it. Yeah, that was it. So we done all our cold weather training up here, and we had to march all the way up this thing. This is where we did our cold weather training at, all up through up in here, here at Mount Fuji, Japan, and a lot of supernatural stuff. A lot of supernatural stuff in Mount Fuji. Hey, do you bounce? Do you bounce back up? Japan, when it comes to supernatural things I've experienced, Japan is probably the top on my list besides Hawaii for the level of supernatural activity. But this is where we done our cold weather training at, was in Mount Fuji, Japan. Mount Fuji, Japan is where they used to train the samurais. Dip, Doug, dodge, dip. No, is it dodge, dip, duck, dodge? And parts of Oki is beautiful. Parts of Oki is beautiful. Camp Hansen, way better. Or Kyushu, way better. But I've heard a lot of weird stuff up in these mountains there at Mount Fuji, Japan. Things I can't explain. I mean, it is probably one of the most strangest places, and you definitely can tell. Bolt, you probably back me up on that. The level of supernatural activity in Japan is just, it's off the scales, and you 100% can feel it. They are. I miss the one thing I miss about Japan is I ate so much yakisobe and yakitori when I was there, and then that 100-year-old water that was soaked in seagrass uh, for 100 years. Oh my God! You used to get it out of that vending machine. It was cloudy. Talk about revitalizing. I mean, that water was just fantastic. But I ate so much yakisobe and yakitori and shrimp fried rice when I was there. It was just, oh my God, it was so wonderful. But yeah, I've had a lot of supernatural experiences here in the mountains of Mount Fuji, and then on mainland Japan. Right there. I think that's it. Nope, that's not it. There's a lot here too. Have you looked into the Innu people in Japan? From what I can find, they're in. Is that the little people? Innu. I'm trying to remember. Innu sounds familiar. Um, is that the little people? Where are you at? But you get up the mountains here. There's Mount Fuji. Oh, that's right. It was on mainland Japan. This is where we done our cold weather training. We done our other training at the other one there in Oki. This is where we did our. There's Mount Fuji. I knew it. Oh, there we go. Oh, interesting. I need to look into that. Oh, you know what? I think I have heard about that. Now that you say that. So yakisobe and yakitori and yakisobe, it's meat on a stick. Um, they claim it's chicken or pork or beef. We'll just say it, they claim. It's really good. Really, really, really good. I don't know what kind of seasonings they use on it, but oh my gosh, that stuff is just off the hook good. Both my grandpas met up in Okinawa. My mom's dad was 101st Airborne, and my dad's dad was in the Marines in World War II, drinking beer and smoking cigars. 20 years later, in 1967, became in-laws. That is awesome. I love hearing stuff like that. I never saw anything in the Okinawa, but on the beaches at night was very strange feelings compared to all the beaches I have been. Yeah, I'll give you that one. Yes, I'll give you that one, Bolt. Yeah, hands down. Absolutely. Terra and the Mongols. Were the Mongols in Japan? They could have been. I mean, they were pushed back to the northern island, and the government of Japan did not recognize them for decades. Okay, yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. I haven't heard about them in a long time. I knew the name sounded familiar. So I apologize, guys. This is Mount Fuji, Japan, and this is where we did our cold weather training. The other one was just field training. That's why I was sitting there kind of struggling. I was like, this don't look right. Mount Fuji, Japan. Um, Only place I've been that it literally rained, ice, and snowed at the exact same time. Um, a lot of strange shit here. A lot of strange stuff. Um, I've been all up around in here, all up around up in here, and I'm trying to remember the name of the base. What was the name of the base when we was there? I can't remember it, but it sits here at Mount Fuji. What is the name of that dang base where we was at? I can't remember, man. Strange footprints can be found around here as well. Humanoid-like footprints. They bounce around between 3 and 4-toed prints. Can be found all around this here. I could say the same thing about strange activity at Walmart. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Eric, question: did you mean to show the map to us? Which map? Because I'm perfect. Oh, thank you. I forgot that was down. Thank you, Roxanne. Yeah, this is Mount Fuji, Japan. I don't know why I was thinking that was up. But there is a lot of 3 and 4-toed footprints around that mountain. Yeah, right. No kidding, William. No kidding. Yeah, it is literally one of the coldest places I've ever been. I know, Roxanne. The sad thing is, I looked at this screen the whole time, but in my mind, it was up. I appreciate that, sweetie. I don't know what is here at Mount Fuji, but it is humanoid-looking footprints, and it's just it's weird. It is. It's so weird. I've found them in the snow so many times. And they're on an average. These things were about that long, a little bit bigger than the width of my head. I don't know what they are. I can just tell you they're humanoid. Could it be their type of Bigfoot? That's the only thing I can think of. Yeah, it does. It does. Thank you. Gosh, thank you. Yeah, cat Mount Fuji. Thank you. Oh, I don't know why I couldn't remember that. But you want to go to a place and do some cryptid investigations in Japan, Mount Fuji's it. There is some weird cryptids up in that area. And a lot of weird supernatural stuff as well. Very, very. Now, one of the coolest places is yeah, so yeah. I wasn't allowed to talk about Japan or ask questions. I've always wondered about their old culture. Mount Fuji is an interesting mountain, not into the modern computers. Yeah. So yes, that is where they trained the samurai. Was trained at Mount Fuji. Been to Suicide Forest already? No, I haven't been there yet. I never did go. A lot of times when people thinking about Japan, this is it. It's Kyushu, and Kyushu is absolutely stunning. The people are freaking amazing there. There is a lot of supernatural activity here in Kyushu. A lot. I've been all up in here. I've been up to Monkey Mountain, Buddha Mountain, even their croc park. We stopped by their croc park there. Drank a lot of sake there too. But there is a natural hot spring over by the Buddhist temple, and it's one of the oldest Buddhist temples in the world, and home of the oldest sumo wrestling ring in the world. That's a place you will find out how good of shape you are. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah, that suicide forest is weird, William. That is a weird, all around is weird. Yes, there's a lot of hauntings in the Suicide Forest. I never got to go. So there's this lava heated pond and creek that comes out of the mountain on where the Buddhist temple is, and it's all superheated by the volcano. And they boil eggs. They got a big basket on, or they got a basket on a big stick that they put their eggs in. They dip it down in that water and boil it. Then they got a spot. I can't remember the name of the place. I know it's something Buddhist, but it's right on the volcano, and you sit there and you soak your feet in that water, and it's something about. I mean, it's hot. I mean, that water is hot, but something about it when your feet get to hurting, the minerals and the superheated water combined blows your mind of what they can do in let's see if I can find it this way. Oh crap, I guess I was there. That's not the temple. Where's the temple? Let me look at a picture of it. And where is it at? You're just zooming out. Oh well, so it keeps zooming out and not taking me exactly where I want it to go. But that water is superheated, and the minerals from the mountain and the superheated water, you put your feet in there and it takes your pain away. Yeah, they do. They absolutely do. Yes, the sulfur. Um, it's sulfur and another type of mineral. See, Duke, I can't remember what it is, but it literally turns the water almost blood red. Um, but it soaks through your feet, and they tell you put your feet in it. That's you'll get the most reaction by soaking your feet in it than any other part of your body. And it's just some type of mineral with the sulfur, but it's almost like a blood red. I mean, it's cool as hell, and it works. Lava Tubes Ito Springs wouldn't be too safe today since Fuji might be active. That's true. That's true, William. Yeah. Take it easy, Carl. Um, when I visited the Buddha temple there, you can feel the energy in that little place. I mean, it's like a wall. You'll feel energy on the outside, but once you cross under that arch heading up to that Buddha temple, it's like instantaneous. Bam! You get nailed, and it's heavy, but it's not like a negative heavy. It's very positive, very very peaceful. And it's one of the oldest Buddhist temples there with the oldest sumo ring. Um, it's it's power. The power there. Yeah, all the those monkeys on Monkey Mountain was fun, Bounty. You didn't look them in the eyes because they want to fight you. Of course, you being a Marine grunt, we may or may not have tried it. I remember one guy got chased down a mountain by one for doing it, and I've almost pissed my pants laughing so hard at him. Um, but William and I was always talking about energy when you're dealing with the supernatural and you're dealing with magical stuff. And something about that Buddha temple, you walk under that arch, and it's literally like you walk through a wall. You feel something, and then you walk under that arch, and it's like, bam, it's heavy, but it's not a negative heavy like you get from negative entities. It's a very good, very peaceful, very positive energy, and you can feel it. You can literally feel what the monks have done there at that Buddhist temple. It is probably one of the most peaceful and loving places I've ever been in this world. Was there at that Buddhist temple. I mean, the monks were awesome. So we're always talking about how people, humans can project good and bad. You can feel how much good that those Buddhists have put in that. They are. They are. Absolutely. They are. Monkey stare down. Come, monkey. They warn you not to stare them in the eyes because that's a challenge to them. Yeah, that's oh dude, we never let him live that down, William. We never let him live it down. It was, oh my God, I about pissed myself laughing so hard watching him run down that mountain being chased by this big old male monkey. Oh, it's hilarious. I had one charge at me and I kicked him. He backed up and started cussing me out. He started doing his little monkey talk. Oh, no kidding. No kidding. But I did. I was looking at one. He came at me and I kicked him in the head. And he backed up, started doing his monkey cussing. Oh, dude. They are, Bolt Gun. They are. Yes. 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 They are. They're evil little bastards, but they're cool as hell. Yeah. Yeah. Don't smile at them. Yeah. Yeah. You're not supposed to. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and say we didn't stare them down and make little threatening moves at them purposely to try to piss them off. I won't say we did and I won't say we don't. Let's just say things happened. It was funny. The monkeys had a pretty cool car. Oh, sorry, wrong way. Hey, we're the monkeys. We like to monkey around. People think we're crazy. But I did. That bastard came at me just screaming, showing his teeth. I kicked him in the head. He fell over, got back up, ran about 10 feet away from me, turned, looked at me, and just started cussing me in monkey talk. I don't know for sure if he was cussing me, but I'm pretty sure he was cussing me. Oh, man. Yes. Yes. The howling monkeys. Yeah. Nicaragua. Yeah. Howler monkeys, dude. Them things are wicked. But I was like, dude, this little bastard going to try to bite me. But if you guys can ever get a chance to visit like a Buddhist temple, I would do it. It's truly amazing. But there is a lot of supernatural activity there. A lot of it. Hey, it is. I do keep my day job. Otherwise, I wouldn't have a place to live. Coco was a Western lowland gorilla that could paint and do sign language. Yes, Coco was cool. She was very good. If I remember right, she was even very good friends with Robin Williams, and she mourned when Robin Williams supposedly died. She had a vocabulary of over 1,000. Yeah. Yeah. If I remember right, Coco was the one that really loved Robin Williams, and supposedly when Robin Williams died, she actually mourned his death. That actually happened at Honolulu, and I can't tell the story exactly how it happened because I would get hit by YouTube bad. And it was, surprising enough, it was by a howler monkey. So Jamerson and Martinez and me, we picked up some chicks and we went to the Honolulu Zoo. Jamerson as dark as charcoal. I mean, we used to have fun with him at nighttime when we were doing field operations through the jungle at night. Be like, Jamerson, smile, we can't see you, dude. And he'd go off. I mean, we had a great banter. It was fun as hell. And this monkey picked up a pile of poo and threw it at him. Now, I can't say his exact words because it will get me in trouble. He leaned over that fence, said, blank you, you stupid monkey, you're pissed because I'm free and you're not, and flipped him off and said, F you. I can't say every single word he was saying because that'll get me in trouble, but that is the rough estimate of his words. I about died laughing so hard. The girls were mortified. Oh my gosh, it was hilarious. That would be weird. Monkeys crossed with lions. That would be real. Yeah, right. That's what I thought. I thought Coco was the one. Yeah, it was. Last time I got to see him was at Cobb Spiker, Iraq. That was the last time I got to see Robin Williams. Yeah, I got cussed out by a monkey. Yeah, I was hinting at that. William. But yeah, Coco was cool. Coco was cool. Oh my God, it's been 2 hours already. So I can't do the other bases. I'll have to do another show on this, and we'll get to Ireland, Scotland, Iraq, and Kuwait on the next one. I do have a very special guest coming on sometime in November. That's when he's going to be free. Got a hold of him. But anybody got any questions? Oh, there's a part line. Dude, they're little a-holes. Howler monkeys are a-holes, dude. Take it easy, William. But if you guys got any questions on me on the bases that we covered at and then the strange things that happened there. Heck yeah. Yeah, I just got home from a party too, so I haven't even changed, man. This is literally, I went to the party like this. You all will like how Eric is talking about. Yeah. He's a cool dude. He's a cool dude. Very well known dude too. A very well known dude from TV. That's the only hint I'm going to give you. He's a very well known dude from TV. So if there ain't no more questions, guys, thank you for joining me tonight. And if you got experiences, if you're in the military and you have experiences with strange stuff on bases too, you want me to cover next time I do one like this, send it to me in my email or in the comment once the show's over, so that way the comment will save. And I'll look into it. Right now, what I've got left on the strange and weird crap I've seen in the world is Ireland, Scotland, Kuwait, Iraq, and Qatar. And that will pretty much cover all the military bases that I've been to, that I can remember at least. Thank you for coming in, and to being your first live. Yeah, I love covering this stuff, and I was needing a good topic because I couldn't get my special guest on today. And I started them new videos called Military versus Creatures, where it talks about how military people have had an encounter with strange cryptids and stuff like that. Episode 2 was released this morning. And I've always kind of referenced this a little bit on this type of stuff I experienced around this world. So I figured it'd be fun freelance show to do is just kind of talk about the bases I've been, kind of show you where it is I'm looking at. And But Fort Riley, Kansas, that was one of the 3 times I've been ran out of an area by something that was pretty much pure evil. That was Fort Riley, Kansas. I still would like to know what I saw at Fort Benning, Georgia. I really would like to know what I saw at Fort Benning, Georgia. If it is a lizard man or if it was just an absolutely freaking huge croc. I mean, its eye spans, like I said, was bigger than my head. Um, I don't know. It was big. Whatever it was big. So, thanks for joining me today. To all my new subscribers, to my OG, thank you guys so much, man. You guys are awesome. Thank you for coming and listening to this old hillbilly talk about strange stuff that I've experienced in the world. And a lot of the stuff that I talk or that I write in my books is actually stuff I have experienced while in the military and in the civilian life. There's a lot of me in my books. My characters, situations, a lot of it has to do with stuff that I've experienced or stuff I've heard. Um, I am doing research on the next Military versus Creatures, episode 3. I'm going to try to put out in the next couple weeks. And it's going to take place in Vietnam. And that's the only secret I'm going to give you. It takes place in Vietnam. I was actually doing that before I came live. So as always, everybody like, heart, share this out. Thank you again. Everybody give an applause to Roxanne and William, my moderators. I'm truly blessed and thankful for their help. Roxanne she's thanks for your help today. And everybody, thank you for coming in. As always, peace, love, and blessings to you all. And I can't wait to see you again next time. So until then, everybody, bye.